Howdy, welcome to BanjoBenClark.com. This is your online home for learning how to pick on the banjo, the guitar, maybe the mandolin. Today we're looking at the banjo and we're going to learn a really fast, built for speed solo to Shenandoah breakdown. Check it out. Alright folks, I about broke my hand playing that one. I usually don't play that fast anymore, so had to get her warmed up there. But what a great solo, and like I said, it's built for speed. And what I'm going to do is slow it down for you, note for note, just like I always do. If you're watching this on the website, as a Gold Pick member, jump over, click on the little link beside the video, go download those tabs, and we're going to go through measure by measure. And then just like I always do, we're going to play it really slowly all the way through. And I've got 3 different speeds of guitar rhythm tracks recorded for you so that you got all you need to learn this thing. If you're watching this on YouTube, here in a little while I'll ask you to go over to my website, BanjoBenClark.com, where you can join as a Gold Pick member, just like many other pickers have, and help support this learning that happens each and every week. That's right. We do this every week here, and we have a blast doing it. All right, let's dive into the Shenandoah breakdown. Okay, guys, first off, this tune is played a lot by fiddle players, and it's typically played in the key of A. I went ahead and played it just in the key of G. I know a lot of you out there don't have capos, or maybe you don't have your 5th string spikes installed. So to make it easier for you, I just played it in the key of G. At festival jams or whatever, you'd be in the key of A, so you'd capo up and then just play it just like you would, except with a capo on it. Now, most every banjo song that we play, we're going to have a kickoff at the top. And they're pretty standard. The standard one we always hear is, okay? But typically those are quarter note kickoffs, okay? So this song would sound like. But this time I wanted to do something a little different since we are playing it so fast. I have some half note kickoffs here, and you can see that there in measure 1. And pay attention because each one of these pinches here are half notes. They're getting 2 beats apiece. So you can hear that whenever you play along with the TEF file that I have available for download there on the website. But they're going to get 2 beats each. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Then we get into the full speed of the song. Now, a couple things that I want to bring to your interest here. One of those is that I'm going to play most of the time in kind of this home position where I have my first finger on the 1st fret, middle on the 2nd, ring on the 3rd, okay? That may not be comfortable for you, and like looking there at measure 3, we have this hammer on. It may be more comfortable for you to do it with your index finger. That's fine too. It's just that a lot of times in this particular arrangement, in this song, we're going to be jumping back to that C chord, having to use the 1st fret. So instead of always jumping back and forth, I just go ahead and play it with my middle finger, and I'm there, okay? That's just kind of a small difference, but it helps me play the song faster. But you may not have the strength built up in your ring finger to do those pull-offs, or maybe it just doesn't sound as good. So do it however you'd like there. The other thing that I want to mention is that we have 2 different kinds of hammer-ons and pull-offs and slides. We have an 8th note hammer-on or a 16th note hammer-on. Now I have a whole video lesson, 20 or 30 minute video lesson on my site describing the differences in these, but it's very important for the sound of the song to get those correct. And we have an example of 2 different kinds of these ornaments here in this 3rd measure. If you'll notice that very first hammer on from the 2nd to 3rd fret, that's a 16th note hammer on. We know that because it has a double bar line down there beneath the notes. So what that means is I want you to hammer on to the 3rd fret before you pick that next note on the 1st string. Okay? But you see there the next little pull off from the 3rd to the 2nd fret on the G string. That's an 8th note pull off. So what that means is we're going to wait and do the pull off at the same time that we play that next note. Okay, so that measure slowed down, sounds like this. Ready, go. Hear that difference? 16th note, 8th note. Good, 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 good. Now the last thing that I want to bring to your attention is their measure 4. Let's take a look at that. Like I said, we're jumping back to the C chord, and I really want you to pay attention to these right hand finger markings that I have beneath the notes, because we're going to use our thumb a lot, this drop thumb technique. That's going to really help with your power and with your speed. So I want you to drop down whenever it says to drop down and use your thumb. A lot of people might be tempted to use their index finger on this first note of measure 4. But we can't do that as fast, regardless of what you might think, as fast or as powerful as we can bring that thumb down and hit that note. And bring our thumb down, okay? So just pay attention to that, because those are littered all throughout this arrangement. But they're in measure 4, pretty straightforward, just working out this partial C chord. I like to make it with my index and my ring finger, because then I have my middle finger there to hammer on again at the end of that measure. Measure 5, simple. Backwards roll. Then we get to the D chord. We have a quarter note there to start it off, and then we have 16th note hammer on it. Okay. Now I'm going to play this whole song through for you very slowly after we've talked about all the different measures here. So you're welcome to skip ahead to that video segment if you're watching this on the website. Measure 7, we're going to see the exact same thing as measure 3. Okay, we've already covered that, as well as measure 8 is the same as measure 4. But let's get to measure 9, and we're wrapping up kind of this first little pass through the A part here. We've got something that looks very familiar here. Sounds like this. Once again, we have a 16th note pull off, okay, versus that 8th note pull off in measure 3. So this one, the pull off needs to happen before we hit that very last note of the measure. Pull off. Good. Measure 10 is very simple. Now in measure 11, we're going to start our second time through the A part here. So let's take a look at that, because we're going to change the way that we play it just a little bit.